Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Ula Ula Island in the Alola region. Now we're in Malie City today where the Draconids are hosting the Cinnabar Flare. Now the Flare are going to start out with Flareon and Colossal in this qualifying trial matchup, whereas Flapple and Dracovish are going to start out for the Malie Draconids. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today. Will it be the Draconids or will it be the Cinnabar Flare? This is a best of 3 matchup, and we will have all 3 matchups here today. And Dracovish is going to start out with a Sky Attack for the Draconids. We'll see that connect in the next turn. And also remember, between games 1 and 2, we will have a tour of Funja Jungle on the Belisavo Island in Pokemon Snap, as we get a Psy Shock now coming from Flapple. Flapple's going to target the Evolution Flareon, who takes some decent damage from that hit, but Flareon's looking to respond now. Flareon's going to go with the Headbutt, actually targeting Flapple in response to just as much damage as Flapple did to it. Colossal is going to look to follow it up as well, and it's going to go with an Ember. It'll get that stab boost being a Fire-type Pokemon, and it targets Flapple, who is part Grass-type, does some decent damage there. Flapple already being in the yellow. Remember, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and if we hit the 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime because we need victors in these matchups today. As Colossal takes that Sky Attack. Wasn't very effective, but now Flapple's going to follow it up with a Whirlpool. And it actually goes for Colossal, so this will be super effective. Takes Colossal down into the yellow, but Colossal has that Steam Engine ability, so this is going to boost Colossal's speed. See if Colossal can capitalize on that now, as it goes for the Meteor Beam, so it's going to boost its special attack on this turn. We'll see this Meteor Beam take effect in the next turn, similar to the Sky Attack. And now Flareon with an opportunity to finish off Flapple if it does as much damage as it did with that Headbutt, but it's going to go for a final Gambit. It's got me tripping over my words with that move. Does decent damage to Dracovish, but not enough, and Flareon has eliminated itself early in this matchup. Colossal taking damage from that Whirlpool in between turns, as the Malie Draconids get a very early lead, which they will want in this matchup. They actually lost to the Cinnabar Flare earlier in this season. It was actually round 4. As Charizard, the Cantonian Fire Starter, comes out for the Cinnabar Flare. Here comes that Meteor Beam from Colossal, targeting Flapple, and Flapple is eliminated, so straight away the Cinnabar Flare respond to the Flareon elimination. And Charizard has an opportunity now to focus in on Dracovish. It's going to go with the Power Gem. And a very good hit there onto the Fossil Pokemon. Dracovish taken down into the yellow, who's going to respond now. And it's going to set up for a Solar Beam. It's going to absorb that light from the sun. We'll see this Solar Beam connect in the next turn. A lot of Pokemon so far going for 2-turn moves, as Haxorus comes out for the Malie Draconids, and Haxorus has that Unnerve ability, which will make the Cinnabar Flare too nervous to eat their berries. Now amazing that Colossal has that speed advantage now thanks to that Steam Engine, as it goes for the Will-O-Wisp. So this is going to leave Dracovish with that burn. Dracovish will be taking damage in between turns. And Charizard is going to follow it up. So Cinnabar Flare have got the speed advantage over the whole field at the moment, which is fantastic for the fire types. Charizard's setting up that light screen, which is going to make the Cinnabar Flare stronger against special type moves. Haxorus, though, is going to go for its first move of the matchup, and it's going to go with the Retaliate. Looks like it's going to target Charizard here, and does a very good hit, taking Charizard straight down into the yellow, as Dracovish goes for that Solar Beam onto Colossal. It takes Colossal down into the red, but it can't get the job done. Dracovish taking damage from that burn. So both Colossal and Dracovish are in the red health. Charizard's in the yellow. This could be Colossal's last move of the matchup, and it's going to start causing an uproar, immediately targeting Dracovish and getting the elimination. So Dracovish has eliminated, the Cinnabar Flare have taken the lead for the first time in this matchup. Charizard now can focus in on Haxorus, and it's going to go with a Roar, which is actually going to send Haxorus back to the bench, but we know it will come back out shortly. In the meantime, though, Drampa comes out for the Malie Draconids, the normal dragon type. Now remember, Drampa is immune to ghost type attacks thanks to that normal typing. And here's Haxorus coming back out onto the field immediately. But as I mentioned before, the last time these two sides met, the Cinnabar Flare actually won and it was in Malie City as well. And Draconids only eliminating 4 of the Cinnabar Flare's Pokemon as that uproar continues and it targets Haxorus. Charizard now going with the power split. Focusing in on Drampa there. Now Haxorus is going to go with the Fury Cutter, and this won't be very effective. And it can't even get the job done there on Colossal, who's still hanging on. Drampa could potentially finish it off here and level the playing field, as it goes for a Grassy Glide, which also won't be very effective. But it gets the elimination on Colossal. So we're back to 4 Pokemon per side, 2 eliminations each. It's the 4th Pokemon now for the Cinnabar Flare comes out, and it's Rapidash. Cinnabar Flare actually have quite a number of Cantonian Pokemon on their side, as they are a Cantonian-based team as well, coming from Cinnabar Island. As where match 2 will be taking place today, as that Smog from Rapidash is going to connect with Drampa. Now Charizard's going to follow it up with a power split again on Drampa. It continues with those power splits. See if Haxorus can capitalize on the focus not being on it. Going with the ally switch, it's going to switch positions with Drampa here. So nobody going for the offensive move in this matchup. See if Drampa can capitalize on it this turn. Going with the slash. Rapidash taking its first damage of the matchup, and a very good hit there by Drampa. See if the Cinnabar Flare can capitalize on their speed advantage over the Dragon types. Rapidash now going with the clear Smog. Targeting Haxorus, a decent hit as Haxorus' stat changes are removed. Charizard could capitalize on this and finish off the Dragon type. As it goes for a Draco Meteor, and that bell tolls as the Draco Meteor comes crashing down onto Haxorus and gets that elimination with a super effective hit. Now it does lower Charizard's special attack in the process, but a very powerful hit, as that is now half of the Malie Draconids that have been eliminated in this matchup. Drampa though is going to respond with a strength, and it targets Charizard and gets the elimination and levels the playing field instantly. Very good play there by Drampa as that light screen for the Cinnabar Flare does wear off. And coming out now for the Flare is their #1 draft pick in Arcanine. Now Draconids sending out one of their 2 pseudo-legendaries, Goodra. Now Arcanine's Intimidate is going to lower the attack stat of both Goodra and Drampa. Arcanine had an amazing start to the season this year in the Elite Challenge League. See if it can back it up in this matchup as Rapidash now goes with the Magic Powder. That Magic Powder will land on Goodra and change its type to Psychic. Arcanine follows it up with the Octolock. Also targeting Drampa, looks like the Cinnabar Flare, sorry not Drampa, Goodra. Looks like the Cinnabar Flare might be focusing in on the pseudo-legendary here. As Goodra goes for its first move of the matchup, and it goes with the Present. Handing that Present over to Arcanine, which is going to do damage to the Fire type. Now Drampa's going to go with the Brave Bird. It's going to get recoil damage from this. Very powerful flying type move, but actually doesn't do a great deal of damage to Arcanine as Drampa is damaged by that recoil. And Goodra's defense and special defense will lower at the end of this turn as well. Now the Malie Draconids, actually both sides had a very up and down season. They fought really hard to get top 3 positions, which will give them the second chance in these finals as Rapidash goes with the Entrainment. So Drampa's Cloud9 will become Flash Fire, same ability as Rapidash. Now Arcanine's going to go with the Rising Voltage, continuing on the offensive. Goes for Goodra there, decent hit on the Dragon type. Actually, what is now the Psychic type Goodra, who goes with the Shadow Claw. Goodra goes for Rapidash, takes it down into the yellow with that move, and Drampa could follow it up here. Drampa going with an Octolock. We've already seen this move in this matchup. That Octolock focuses in on Arcanine. So Arcanine's defense and special defense also lower, just like Goodra's will now. Now it looks like the Malie Draconids have the health advantage over the Cinnabar Flare at the moment. And that speed advantage is huge in these sort of matchups. As we now see a Shadow Ball coming from Rapidash. And this will be super effective on Goodra. Massive hit onto the pseudo legendary, taking it down into the red. Remember, it has that psychic type, and now Arcanine could finish it off here as it goes for a Whirlpool. And that Whirlpool will go for Goodra. And it gets the elimination. The pseudo legendary has been eliminated from this matchup. Drampa now is by itself as the Cinnabar Flare have taken the lead. Goes for the Dream Eater, which won't affect Rapidash as nobody is asleep on the field. And Arcanine's defense and special defense continue to lower as Malie Draconids send out their 6th Pokemon. And it's Tyrantrum, the Rock Dragon type. It is another fossil type that's on the Draconid's side. Rapidash goes for the Scald, focusing in on Drampa here. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but not very effective on the Dragon normal type. Now Arcanine, going with the extra sensory, welcomes Tyrantrum to the battlefield with that move, doing a good amount of damage to the Rock Dragon. Tyrantrum goes for its first move of the matchup though, and it's going with the Horn attack. Responding to Arcanine, a massive hit. Arcanine is almost eliminated by that move. Drampa could finish it off here, but instead opts to go with the skill swap, which is going to do absolutely nothing to Rapidash because they both have that Flash Fire ability at the moment. Now, Malie Draconids are on a 4-game win streak, and the Cinnabar Flare could actually end that with this matchup, with this first matchup of the qualifying trial. And they definitely want to do that. They want that first victory to give themselves a bit of breathing room heading into their home field advantage. Rapidash goes with the X-Scissor onto Tyrantrum, taking it down into the yellow, and gets that critical hit. The Cinnabar Flare doing everything they need to do. Now we get the Kinesis coming from Arcanine. It's going to lower Drampa's accuracy there. And now Tyrantrum going with the Body Slam onto Arcanine, which will finish it off, which means it is now a 2 versus 2 match. And Tyrantrum even gets the critical hit, not that it needed it when doing that damage. Drampa though can focus in solely on Rapidash now and make the last Pokemon for the Cinnabar Flare come out by itself. Drampa goes with the Flail, takes Rapidash down into the red, but doesn't get the elimination, so it will be 2 versus 2. As Turtonator comes out for the Cinnabar Flare, another Dragon type actually on the field. Turtonator could have been drafted to the Malie Draconids, but was drafted to the Cinnabar Flare instead. Now Rapidash goes with the Revenge. Going for Tyrantrum here and gets the quick elimination to take the advantage. And it's super effective on Tyrantrum. So it's now a 2 versus 1 battle, and Turtonator can eliminate Drampa here. Goes with the Mind Reader instead though, which is what Drampa needs, as it didn't take any damage this turn. Drampa needs to get the elimination. Goes with the Icy Wind, and this won't be very effective, but it is going to hit both Rapidash and Turtonator, doing more damage to Turtonator because of its part Dragon type, and it's also going to lower the speed of both Fire type Pokemon. You have to think Rapidash should surely still move quicker than Drampa here though, and that it does. Drampa's only got that 35 base speed, so we're going to see the Flying Press coming from Rapidash. And it gets the elimination with a super effective hit, so the Cinnabar Flare win game 1 of the qualifying trial. Very big win here, as we'll send it over to the Funja jungle for a quick tour of there through Pokemon Snap. As you can see, this lush green forest jungle area, as you see the Bloomsweet flying through the sky, even the Pikipeks. You can hear that clicking noise as the Apoms run across that tree. Just such serene peace and beauty. There's some more Bloomsweets, and there you can hear that clicking coming from the Pikipek on that tree. Hard at work as those Apoms. Giant spiderweb, you definitely do not want to be caught in that, but we're safe here in the Nero one. Many beautiful Pokemon. There's that Beautifly. More Pikipeks. And this very lush green jungle. can see something in the trees there too. To our right, now it looks like an Arbok, as well as the Beautifly here protecting us, but that Arbok thankfully is far enough away so we'll be nice and safe here through this tour. You can still hear those picky pecks clicking away at the trees. Quagsire happily sitting by the water. Again, don't worry about that Arbok that we saw before. We're nice and safe here in the narrow one. Very happy environment for the Apom and Beautifly. And just to be sure, there you go, that Arbok is nice and far away from all of us. This beautiful green space opens up. Wonderful cliff faces. See those beautiful picky pecks. Even at the bottom of the tree there, those lovely ruins. Now, over that open, wide space, we'll be heading in that direction shortly. So serene. Very peaceful and pleasant in this area. They look like nests there. You can see the Lipid down by those ruins. Now we do have different Pokemon that will appear different days on these tours. As you get the sleeping Lipids, enjoying the serenity of the waterfall. Those beautiful falls cascade down into this wonderful area for the Pokemon, just being a nice, pleasant, natural habitat for them. And we said Quagsire, yes, Quagsire is diving into the water, always fun to see. Beautiful Pokemon frolicking around. Now we are getting closer to the end of our tour in the Funja jungle here today. Those beautiful falls though, like I said, those rock cliff faces, just fantastic scenery. We do hope you enjoyed your tour here today. We look forward to you coming back for more. And a very quiet path through there behind the waterfall as well, but we'll send you back to Cinnabar Island to continue the qualifying trials. Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome back from the tour of the Belusava Island. We're here at Cinnabar Island now, as the Malie Draconids do have the away team disadvantage, and they're going to start out with Dragonite, their own pseudo-legend, their first draft pick, their second pseudo-legendary, and Appleton, whereas Ninetales and Magmortar are going to start out for the Cinnabar Flare. The Cinnabar Flare have the advantage coming into this game, so if they win this matchup, they will go straight into the major semi-trial to face the Olivano, which is what they want, because they actually defeated them earlier in this season. Ninetales starting out with a slam onto Appleton. But let us know who you think will win this second matchup in the comments below. Will it be the Cinnabar Flare or will it be the Malie Draconids? Magmortar going with the baby eyes. And yes, Magmortar is quicker than Dragonite. I think it can be quite surprising, but it is the truth, and Dragonite goes with a Fire Blast. It's going to connect onto Magmortar. Now, it's not very effective, but it does do a decent amount of damage to the Fire type. Now we get a Sing being performed by Appleton, but Magmortar's Vital Spirit prevents it from going to sleep. And just like our previous matchup, it is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and if we hit the 20-minute time limit, it goes into single battle overtime because we need a victor. Ninetales is going to go with the Harden and boost its defenses. regardless of the outcome of this match, we will definitely go into Game 3. But you know that the Malie Draconids want to go into Game 3 with a chance of victory, as that Thunderfang from Magmortar is going to connect on the Dragon Flying type. Now Dragonite goes with the Stun Spore, which is going to slow down Ninetales. That can be a very good play by the Dragon type. You have to think that Appleton will still move slower. Appleton does only have that speed of 30, so it is not a quick Pokemon at all. It is the quickest Pokemon across these two slowest Pokemon, sorry, across these two matchups, as Magmortar now goes with the Spit Up, which is going to fail. This will give Dragonite a huge opportunity to see if it can capitalize. Goes with a Swallow, which also fails. Ninetales is able to shake off its paralysis, goes with the Encore. Nobody seems to be connecting with anything, as Appleton goes with the Disable, a very good play. This will prevent Magmortar from using its Metronome. It's just going to have to struggle, which means Magmortar will get recoil damage every time it hits. Now Cinnabar Flare ended that 4-game winning streak of the Malie Draconids in the previous matchup, as Magmortar gets that recoil damage from the struggle that takes it down into the yellow. Cinnabar Flare knows what that feels like. They lost after winning 5 games in a row. They lost in round 18 to the Virbank Venom. The Virbank Venom are a wildcard side. You'll get that Noble Roar coming from Ninetales. Going for Dragonite there. It's going to lower the stats here of Dragonite, lowering its attack and special attack. And it is a very offensive Pokemon, so that's a good play, as that Will-O-Wisp from Appleton does fail. Magmortar continuing with the struggle, this time going for Appleton. Doesn't do as much damage, and the recoil damage takes Magmortar down into the red. Dragonite could finish Magmortar off and give the Malie Draconids that early advantage they need. Instead goes for the Magnetic Flux that does fail. And Ninetales doing very well, continues to shake off that paralysis and goes for a Shockwave, which is going to hit Appleton but does very minimal damage. Now Appleton's going to go with the Worry Seed, which it throws at Ninetales, so Ninetales won't be able to go to sleep either, because it's now going to get that Insomnia ability. So neither Magmortar or Ninetales will we see go to sleep, as that harsh sunlight fades over the battlefield. Malie Draconids need to capitalize on Magmortar's weakened state, but Magmortar may actually take itself out of the battle now, because it continues to struggle, and Magmortar is eliminated by its own recoil damage. That's huge for the Malie Draconids. They can focus in on Ninetales here and get that big early game advantage. Dragonite going with the Poison Sting. And Ninetales is paralyzed. This is fantastic. If Appleton can go for something that'll do big damage to Ninetales, instead goes for the Trick Room, which could still be very good because Appleton will now be moving first. It is that slow. Cinderace, the quickest Pokemon of the Cinnabar Flare, actually comes out now. Now Cinderace is going to have that Libero ability, but it will be moving last thanks to the Trick Room. Appleton now is going to go for a Misty Explosion. This is terrible. This will be super effective on Dragonite. And a massive hit to their own side. Appleton is eliminated, and it's super effective on Dragonite, who's also eliminated, which means the Cinnabar Flare have just taken the lead. Ninetales, still suffering from its paralysis, is unable to move. And Cinderace just needs to not use an explosion of its own, but instead goes for the Clanging Scales, but no one to hit. Regardless, its typing will still change to the Dragon type. Malie Draconids will be sending out another 2 Pokemon as the Cinnabar Flare have taken the lead. Now he's first send out Drodigan. Drodigan's about to be joined now by Altaria. Now the loser of this matchup will go into the minor semi-trial next week, which means they'll have to take the long route to try and get to the grand trial. But we get a Freeze Dry first coming from Ninetales. This will be super effective on Altaria. Huge damage, taking Altaria down into the red. Cinderace could capitalize, but first Drodigan will be going. Again, thank you to that Trick Room. Drodigan goes with the extreme speed onto Ninetales, which takes it down into the yellow. A very good hit. Altaria could follow it up here. Altaria is going to go with the Mud Slap. And it does go for Ninetales. Decent hit, super effective. It's also going to lower that accuracy of Ninetales. Now Cinderace is currently a Dragon type, but its typing will change based on its movement. It's going to go for an Aerial Ace, so it's going to become Flying type now. That's what that Libero ability does, and it goes for Draconids. A very good hit on the Dragon type, but Draconids has that rough skin, so Cinderace gets recoil damage from that. Ninetales this time is able to shake off its paralysis. And it's going to go for a Sand Attack. Going to lower the accuracy of Altaria. Altaria would have been an easy target for the Cinnabar Flare to finish off now, but this will open the window for the Malie Draconids. As Draconids sets up for a Geomancy, we'll see those stats get boosted in the next turn. That is a 2-turn move. Unfortunately, it's not offensive. That Slam from Altaria will miss Cinderace, which opens up the window for the Cinnabar Flare. Cinderace goes with the Bullet Punch, so its type's going to change to Steel now. It goes for Altaria, and it finishes it off. Altaria has been eliminated. The Cinnabar Flare have an early game lead here, having taken down half of the Malie Draconids. With that said, though, the Malie Draconids did take down 2 of their own. Drampa comes out now for the Malie Draconids. 5 Pokemon still remaining for the Cinnabar Flare, only 3 left for the Malie Draconids. And Drampa's going to start off big with a Core Enforcer. And gets the elimination on Ninetales. It's not very effective on the Steel-type Cinderace, but still takes Cinderace down into the yellow. Draconids Geomancy is going to finish off now. Draconids Special Attack and Special Defense, as well as its speed, all get massive boosts here. It just needs to capitalize on it in the next turns. Now Cinderace's Libero changes it to Ghost type with that Spite. And Spite lowers the PP of Drampa's Metronome by 4. It's the Cinnabar Flare now. Send out Darmanitan, and now we can see Darmanitan turn into its Zen mode today. We've only seen that happen once, and that was actually in round 18. But Darmanitan's had a very good season, especially considering it was the number 10 draft pick of the Cinnabar Flare. Cinderace's type changes to Grasses, goes with that Giga Drain onto Drampa. That Trick Room has it finished. Not very effective on Drampa, but Cinderace does restore some of its health, getting back into the green there. Now Drogon, having finished its Geomancy, goes with the Flower Shield. So it doesn't go for the offensive move like you think it should have. It should have capitalized on those boosted stats. Now Darmanitan goes for the Encore. That does fail. This will open the window for Drampa. Drampa goes with the Low Sweep. Going for Cinderace here, takes it back down into the yellow, and Cinderace's speed will be lowered. This might open up the door for Drodigan to go first. And that it does. Drodigan needs to capitalize on this. It has the boosted stats. Goes for the Disable now. Going for Darmanitan, which is going to prevent Darmanitan from capitalizing on its Metronome. It will struggle, so it's going to get recoil damage every time it hits. Now Cinderace's type changes to Water as it goes with the Muddy Water. Almost looks like it's right in a Surf here. It's going to hit both Drampa and Drodigan, but it's not very effective on either Pokemon. However, it does lower their accuracy. Oh, sorry, just the accuracy of Drodigan, not Drampa's, as Drampa sets up for its turn, and it goes for the Magic Powder. Which means Darmanitan's type will change to Psychic. So neither Pokemon on the side of Cinnabar Flare are their regular typing. Neither are Fire type anymore. Cinderace is currently Water type and Darmanitan is Psychic type. As Drodigan goes with the Rapid Spin onto Darmanitan, it's going to boost its speed yet again. And Darmanitan, with no moves left, goes with the Struggle onto Drodigan, taking it down into the yellow, but it gets the recoil damage from the Rough Skin and the recoil damage from the Struggle, and it hasn't turned into its Zen mode, even though it's below 50% health. Now Cinderace is going to go with the Fusion Bolt. Its type changes to Electric, so every move Cinderace does gets a stab boost here. And onto Drodigan, and Drodigan is eliminated. This is fantastic for the Cinnabar Flare. There's only 2 Pokemon remaining for the Malie Draconids. Drampa now going with the Hurricane. Goes for Darmanitan here and gets the elimination. So Darmanitan is eliminated with a critical hit. We do not see the Zen mode here today. Which means the Malie Draconids are still in this. Cinnabar Flare have 3 Pokemon remaining. The Draconids have 2. Now Cinnabar Flare are going to send out Turtonator. We did see Turtonator in the previous matchup. And we also saw Flapple in the previous matchup, who comes out now for the Malie Draconids. You can hear its wings flapping, that apple crunch noise. Now Cinderace is back to having the speed advantage since Draconids was eliminated. Going with the Mega Punch, its type changes to normal. Goes straight for Flapple, a huge hit taking it down into the yellow. Flapple's going to look to respond with an Earth Power. This will be super effective. On Turtonator, a massive hit. Takes Turtonator down into the red. Now Turtonator's only going for its first move of the matchup now, and it's going with the Petal Dance. And it goes for Drampa. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but not very effective. But Drampa could finish Turtonator off here. It's going to go with the Eerie Spell. And targets the Dragon Fire type and gets the elimination. So Turtonator has been taken down. The Malie Draconids have leveled the playing field. This is fantastic to keep themselves in this. But it's Rapidash who comes out, who performed very well in the previous matchup. See if Rapidash can do that again here. Now that's speed advantage massively on the side of the Cinnabar Flare as Rapidash performs the Acid. This will hit both Flapple and Drampa, but it's got the elimination with that super effective move onto Flapple. It was a critical hit. This is huge. The Cinnabar Flare only need to eliminate Drampa now. Drampa's Berserk ability boosts its special attack, but Cinderace is going first. Cinderace needs to eliminate the Dragon Normal type. Goes with the Bind. So you know that Drampa's going to be taking damage from this Bind in between turns. Drampa now goes with the Scratch. On to Cinderace, a decent hit there, but not enough. As Drampa continues to take, starts taking damage from that Bind, which takes it down into the red. The Cinnabar Flare have got a massive advantage. Rapidash is still at full strength. If it can land an offensive move right now, and it's going to go with the Hydro Pump, this won't be very effective, but it could still get the job done. And Drampa is holding on. It has that bind around it though. Cinderace could come in and finish it off now. Going with the Night Days, Cinderace's ability type is going to change to Dark. And that is it. The Cinnabar Flare have beaten the Malie Draconids 2-0. Malie Draconids have not beaten the Cinnabar Flare yet this season. We're going to send it over to the Pichu party at the Prism Tower now. And we'll come back for Game 3. That is a lot of Pichu, and here they go, all being very combative, trying to eliminate each other. It is hard to tell who is who on the field at the moment. See if anyone gets left behind as the battlefield will move up the tower. And they're all actually able to hold on. But we have had an elimination. It is both the spiky-eared Pichu and the regular Pichu have been eliminated. We've had 3 eliminations now. And the field is moving again. Here we see it's going around that beautiful tower in Kalos. And we still have 5 Pichus left. And now we've got 4. We do have the Team Aqua Pichu still in this matchup, the little pirate. Still hanging in there. But he has just been eliminated. Oh, I was really kind of hoping for that little guy. But now we have the goggles wearing Pichu. And what looks like the mask wearing Pichu still remaining in this matchup with a little bandana. As we're now at the top of Prism Tower, we can see that skylight changing. The huge hit and Goggles Pichu with the victory. And we'll be going back to Malie City for Game 3. Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome back to Malie City, where the Malie Draconids, although they aren't going into the major semi-trial, we know they'll be going to the minor semi-trial. They want this victory, they need this victory, because they haven't beaten the Cinnabar Flare yet this season. So they've lost to them 3 times, this season. If they can beat them here in this matchup, it'll prove that they can do it and maybe give them some confidence if they face them again later on in the championship trials. Now, Ninetales and Turtonator are starting out for the Cinnabar Flare. Malie Draconids starting out with Tyrantrum and Goodra. Let us know in the comments below if you think the Malie Draconids can get a win over the Cinnabar Flare. Goodra now sets up for its movement, goes with the Magical Leaf. Now, it's not going to be very effective there on Turtonator, doing very minimal damage. Now, Tyrantrum's got that Rock type in it, needs to capitalize on that, but instead goes with the Fire Lash. Going for Turtonator as well, also doing very minimal damage. This might be the confidence factor on the Malie Draconids that they can't get that victory. Cinnabar Flare must be feeling very good heading into their matchup with the Olivine Ore next week. Now we know the next matchup we'll be seeing will be the elimination trial between the Hearthome Haunts and the wildcard winners, and whoever wins that matchup will be facing the Malie Draconids next week. Vice Grip on Goodra, looks like the Cinnabar Flare chipping away at the pseudo legendary, but Goodra now going with the Water Shuriken. This can hit 5 times. It's going for Turtonator. It's got 2. Here's 3. Only gets 3 hits there. Tyrantrum looking to follow up. And it's going to go with the Draco Meteor. It's going to get that stab boost, and it's going to come down onto Ninetales. And a very good hit, instantly cutting Ninetales' health in half. It will lower Tyrantrum's special attack, however. Turtonator could capitalize on its own Dragon typing, but instead goes with the flip turn, so it's going to go back to the bench after hitting Goodra with that not very effective move. Did get the critical hit though. The confidence for the Cinnabar Flare is shining through greatly here. The Dragon types seem to be a little rattled as Rapidash comes out for the Cinnabar Flare. Rapidash did very well in games 1 and 2 against the Malie Draconids, so Cinnabar Flare is starting out early with Rapidash this time. Rapidash is starting off with the Flail. Continuing to target the pseudo legendary Ninetales. Gonna follow it up. And it's gonna go with a U-turn of its own, so it's gonna go back to the bench after hitting Goodra as well. So we know Turtonator is gonna be coming back onto the field now. But it almost looks like the Cinnabar Flare are having fun here, just toying with the Dragon types. Malie Draconids need to get their act together if they want to perform well in the minor semi-trial, if they want to continue their hopes of winning the first ever Grand Trial in the Elite Challenge League. Tyrantrum now is going to fling its Leper Berry. Going for Rapidash here, clearly not happy with its situation now. It's going to do minimal damage to Rapidash, who eats that Leper Berry. This is a very poor start to the championship trials for the Malie Draconids, losing 2 straight games to the fire types, as we get a Hex coming from Rapidash onto Tyrantrum. Now Goodra is going to go with the Defend Order. Now the Malie Draconids actually came into championship trials with a 12-6 record, which was the same as the Cinnabar Flares. But the Cinnabar Flare won 2 games in overtime. That was why they were actually 3rd place coming into this matchup. As the Hammer Arm from Tyrantrum takes Turtonator down into the red, it is going to lower Tyrantrum's speed. Turtonator might be able to move faster than Tyrantrum in the next move. Now Turtonator is going to go with the Giga Impact. And this will take down Goodra. The pseudo legendary has been eliminated. Again, the Cinnabar Flare just have this confidence over the Malie Draconids as the Dragon types send out Drodigan. And Drodigan has that Mold Breaker ability, but this is not looking good. This is a bad start for the Malie Draconids in Game 3. Rapidash now, going with a double team. It's going to boost its evasiveness, make it harder for the Malie Draconids to hit Rapidash. So both sides again, 12-6 records. But now, Cinnabar Flare getting these 2 victories over the Malie Draconids. Draconids want to redeem themselves here, but they just can't seem to get their act together. Cinnabar Flare are able to do those constant changes. Turtonator having to recharge after that very impressive Giga Impact over Gudra. But we already know, like I said, it will be Oliver facing the Cinnabar Flare next week in those qualifying, in the major semi-trial. In the minor semi-trial, it'll be the Malie Draconids versus the winner of the Hearthome Haunts and the wild card. And we see that rollout get the super effective as well. Elimination over Turtonator. Very good move there by Draconids. Tyrantrum could follow it up here, and it's going to go with the Sacred Fire. Rapidash has that Flash Fire ability, so its Fire type move gets a... Like, Fire type moves will get a boost from that. Ninetales coming back out onto the field for the Cinnabar Flare, but you can even hear it from me. I'm a little devastated for the Malie Draconids. Just such dominant losses against the Cinnabar Flare. They need to get their act together. Super Fang now coming from Rapidash, going to halve the health of Tyrantrum. Ninetales could follow this up as well. Ninetales goes with the Roost instead, so it's going to restore its health. And just like that, Ninetales gets itself almost back to full strength as that rollout now focuses in on Ninetales. And that Roost was a perfect move for Ninetales to use because that would have been eliminated from the rollout. That rollout's building momentum every turn. Tyrantrum going for a dig. So we'll see that connect in the next turn, and it'll be super effective. So that's actually a really good play there by Tyrantrum. Cinnabar Flare now needs to focus in on Drodigan. Get a heavy slam, which Tyrantrum's able to avoid. Rapidash focusing on the wrong Pokemon. Ninetales now goes with the Vacuum Wave. Doing very minimal damage to Drodigan, but Drodigan's rollout's going to continue onto Ninetales, and Ninetales has been eliminated, so the Malie Draconids have actually taken the lead. Are they building momentum just like that rollout? Because here comes the dig onto Rapidash, and Rapidash is eliminated. Super effective, 2 super effective moves. Massive play there by the Malie Draconids, taking down 3 Pokemon from the Cinnabar Flare now. This is what the Draconids need, building that momentum, both physically with that rollout, or both literally with that rollout, and starting to build some confidence, mental confidence here, as Flareon and Colossal come out for the Cinnabar Flare. Drain Punch now coming from Flareon. Onto Tyrantrum, a very good move by the Evolution, getting that elimination. Trying to put the Malie Draconids back where the Cinnabar Flare think they should be. But Drodigan's going to continue with that rollout, going for Flareon, and it's a one-hit wonder. Flareon is eliminated. That rollout has done wonders for the Malie Draconids. Colossal goes for its first move of the matchup and goes with the Poltergeist. So it's going to hit Drodigan with its own Leper Berry. And a very good hit there. Gets that critical hit, taking Drodigan down into the yellow. Now the Malie Draconids are going to send out Haxorus. Cinnabar Flare sending out Darmanitan as their last Pokemon in this matchup. Now Haxorus has that Unnerve, making the Cinnabar Flare too nervous to eat their berries. But the Draconids have a 4-2 advantage at the moment. This is what they need. If they can get this victory over the Cinnabar Flare, it might give them some confidence if they meet them again in the Championship Trials. Haxorus is going to go with the Incinerate. It's not going to be very effective, but it is going to burn up the Leper Berries of the Fire types. Now Colossal has that Steam Engine. We saw this in Game 1, so it gets that speed boost. Colossal now goes to the Liquidation, targeting Haxorus. Not very effective on the Dragon types though. Darmanitan. It's going to go with a Substitute. This is actually a really good play because we know Drodigan is still using its rollout, which means that rollout could target the Substitute. And here it goes. It is going to go for the Substitute, so well done by Darmanitan, sacrificing some of its own health to actually protect itself from that super effective move. Keeping the Cinnabar Flare still with a chance in this matchup, because if it was a 1 versus 4, you have to think Colossal wouldn't stand any chance. But now Colossal with that speed boost. It's going to go with the Seed Bomb. Onto Drodigan here. It takes it down into the red. It's not very effective, but it is going to make it an easy target for the Fire types. Haxorus goes with the Skill Swap. Targeting Darmanitan there, switching the Sheer Force and the Unnerve. So now the Malie Draconids will be too nervous to eat their berries. And Darmanitan goes with the Cotton Spore. So instead of capitalizing on its impressive physical attack stat, that attack stat being 140, it's going to lower the speed of the dragon types. Draudigan's rollout's finished, so it's going to go with the Mega Drain. Try and restore some of its health, taking it from Darmanitan. Now, it's not very effective on the fire types, being a grass type move. Draudigan is still in the red as well, so again, it's still a very easy target for the Cinnabar Flare. Colossal. It's going to go with a Whirlwind. So instead of finishing Draudigan off, it's actually going to send it back to the bench. So don't be confused, Draudigan is still in this matchup, but Appleton now comes out for the Draconids. Thundershock coming from Darmanitan. Won't be very effective on Appleton. Appleton barely even budges from that Thundershock. Haxorus now is going to go with the Smart Strike. Targets Darmanitan with that move, taking it down into the yellow, even though it wasn't very effective. And the Malie Dragon is still with that numbers advantage. Again, they're hoping to boost some confidence. Not only for next week, but if they can get through next week, if they meet the Cinnabar Flare again, they want to know that they can beat them. Now Darmanitan is going to set up for a Solar Beam. So it's going to absorb the light on this turn. We'll see that Solar Beam come in the next turn. Unless the Draconids can finish Darmanitan off before then. Haxorus goes with the Heal Bell. Now, Bell does chime, but unfortunately it fails for the Draconids. Now the Fairy Wind coming from Appleton. Going for Colossal, doing very minimal damage to the Rock Fire type. Now Colossal is going to go for that Skull Bash onto Appleton. And Darmanitan is going to go for the Solar Beam. This one going for Haxorus. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but not very effective, which is good for the Dragon types because they're still standing so strong in this matchup. We're going to get a Smackdown coming from Haxorus. Haxorus laying that Smackdown onto Colossal. Super effective. Appleton can follow it up now. Going to go with the Conversion too, so it's going to change its typing. Appleton becomes the Flying type. And now it almost looks like the Malie Draconids are toying with the Cinnabar Flare somewhat. Colossal goes with the Ingrain, so it's going to restore health in between turns. And Darmanitan goes with the Anchor Shot. Going for Haxorus here. Very good hit, taking Haxorus down into the yellow. Haxorus with his chance to respond. And it's going to go with the Boomerang. This will be super effective. Going for Colossal. It hits once. This second one could get the job done. And it does. Colossal has been eliminated. Darmanitan is all by itself with 4 Malie Draconid Pokemon to contend with. So Colossal's fainted. Appleton could get an elimination of Darmanitan here and now, and it goes with an Ember, so you know it won't. It's not going to be very effective. But again, the Draconids have that huge numbers advantage. Darmanitan needs to hit very hard. Get those eliminations as quickly as it can. It's going to go with a Dragon Pulse. This will be super effective. This is what it needs to do. Goes for Haxorus here. And Haxorus has been eliminated by Darmanitan, so Darmanitan is doing everything it needs to do to keep itself in this matchup. It wants those 3 victories over the Malie Draconids. Now Appleton going with the high jump kick. And it's going to connect. And it gets the elimination, so the Malie Draconids have proven to themselves that they can beat the Cinnabar Flare. So next week, they will need to win in the minor semi-trial to keep their grand trial hopes alive. They want to stay in these trials. But regardless, it's the Cinnabar Flare, who you can see now, that will be going on to face the Olivino next week in the major semi-trial. The winner of that will get a spot straight into the first ever grand trial. Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, and if you are still here, thank you very much. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was best on field. But more importantly, I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. And if you did, please leave a like, share, subscribe. Always helps out the channel. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome. And I appreciate that you have watched this. And I will speak to you guys next time.